It's been a long ride now. It's 2016 and I've run, 7,500 milers, something like that, and I've won 38. It's been a great ride, and I think I did the right thing, at least in my eyes, becoming the 100-mile guy, because not many people really chase that for 20 years, and I'm just working on making a career out of it, and 100 miles is not that far if you put that in your head, because a lot of it's between your ears, It's a matter of just being ambitious and, trying to finish stuff like that. My advice to those people who would, get into their first 100 is really patience is a key. You never bank miles. They don't stay in the bank. They go in and they drop right out. It's like you can't make that deposit early. The money doesn't go in there. So what you do is you kind of go out a little bit slower and you stay in your comfort zone as long as you can. The bottom line is you just have to keep eating, keep drinking, and keep your head in the game. Yeah, I just made it up here to this little bench here. This is kind of the apex of my favorite bread and butter run. And the view's killer. Castle behind us, some of the best skiing in the world up here, and it never gets old. It's just a beautiful place. What motivates me to run hundreds is really just the fact that I like being out in the woods and running. It's not so much about time anymore for me. I know that I've won a lot of races and things like that, but I'm getting older. You get a little slower. Don't kid yourself. So when I talk to other runners that want to run their first 100 or something like that, I said, you have to accept the experience. It's about the journey. It's not all about what your time may be or something like that, because everyone has stories about their journey. The stories come from the people that were out there the longest in the wilderness, which is kind of a beautiful thing. Today we're up at we're basically the head of Little Cottonwood Canyon, and we're on one of my bread and butter runs. Start a little bit lower than we're at right now, and we do a loop around over to Brighton, through Solitude, through Alta, over to Snowbird. It's just a good high altitude single track wildflower run. Up here at Alta, I get 20,000 feet a week of climbing without even trying. It's hard, but I'm not really trying. It just kind of automatically happens. That's what makes these mountains so great. And to me, it's Disneyland every day. I don't think it ever gets old. I've been doing it for 26 years. And honestly, I can't wait till the snow melts so I can get out here and run it, And it's 15 minutes from my house. How cool is that?
Tell us a little bit about your store. When did you guys start out?
Sure, we opened in 2004, so we're going into our 13th year. And at that time, just this end of the Salt Lake Valley didn't have a specialty running store. If you lived here in Salt Lake and you wanted to drive an hour, whether you wanted to go south or wanted to go north, you've got multiple options. When you get up here to the Salt Lake Valley, we can start what we call on the south end at the point of the mountain near Corner Canyon in Draper. And as I mentioned before, the Corner Canyon area, miles and miles of trails, great for beginners, but if there's somebody who is maybe training for a 50K, 50 mile, they can go in that area and get 20 to 30 miles all on continuous trail down there. And then from there, you just kind of come up through the valley. You have Little Cottonwood Canyon where Snowbird and Alta are located. And then you've got Big Cottonwood Canyon. North of there is Mill Creek Canyon. And then north of there would be Parley's Canyon. So you've got a number of different canyons, and some of them connect up and over the top, like the ski resorts. You can run up from Alta up and over into Brighton and Solitude, and then from Big Cottonwood Canyon you can run up and over into Mill Creek Canyon as well. And as you go up these canyons, you can take trails every direction, and to get miles and miles of great running trails. The views up top are spectacular. I think the thing that has drawn people to the Salt Lake area, whether they grew up here or we got a lot of people who move here. It's they love the skiing during the winter time, and I think that's sometimes a big draw for people initially. But I think what they learn is once they move here, you can do so many other things during the summer in these same mountains, whether it's running and trail running or hiking and backpacking and camping.
Well, what's cool about Sandy, Utah is that, number one, what I like about it a lot is it's quiet. I mean, we're in the Salt Lake Valley, so it's kind of all Salt Lake, but we're in the little southeast corner of Salt Lake Valley, right at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon, where there's just a plethora of trails around. Big Cottonwood Canyon next to us. You know, the culture it's still Salt Lake, but it's the best little corner of Salt Lake. You know, the access is what really matters to me, and the landscape. It's kind of accessible for everyone. You can have the hardest trails going up Sugarloaf or Devil's Castle, or you can come up the short, easy trail to Secret Lake. So you have this big variety of stuff, which makes it really cool for everyone, whether you're older or younger. There's also a bunch of us out here that kind of like to run alone, which would be me. But that's, you know, it's just whatever you like. It's just everything is here in Salt Lake. All you have to do is get down to one of the running stores and just ask a few questions, and they could be pointed in the right direction. And boom, you're out running with some friends or by yourself through beautiful mountain land, and hopefully you'll see a moose or something like that. In Little Cottonwood, we see moose. I see moose probably every other day that I go running. It's funny, we kind of call them mountain rats, a few of us do, but in a good way. They're beautiful animals. We see a lot of bulls with really large racks, but they're out here, they're pretty tame, they're not out to get us, so it's really no reason to be alarmed by it. But whether there's people out here or not, there's still wilderness. And we have to respect that a lot of times too. I mean, it is what it is. You can worry about taking risks out there, but I'd rather risk running into a moose than running into a car. It's a beautiful thing when you see him and you can just see him drinking water. It's just a beautiful place to. If I were a moose, I'd hang out here for sure. I'm definitely living in a dream world. How thankful can I be when I wake up and go to work and I go here to work, and as opposed to going to the cubicle or the office or wherever you may work. I'm blessed and gifted, so why not roll with it? Why not try to spend your life doing what you like to do as long as you can? Hopefully I'll have to retire without mowing lawns or something like that.
So we've made the short trip up to Ogden from Salt Lake. What trail are we running today?
This is called Wheeler Creek. It's up the Ogden Canyon. It's kind of our go-to place in the summertime with the summertime heat because it's a lot cooler up here.
Nice, yeah, it feels cooler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that must be a nice escape. Today, from what I hear, we're gonna do a little bit on this road and a little bit of single track, is that right?
Sure. First part of this trail used to be a road, like I think around 100 years ago. Since then, it's just kind of slowly grown in, and now it's just kind of a really wide trail that's really popular with hikers, families, mountain bikers. From here, we'll go about a mile up, and then we'll catch a chunk of single track called Icebox Canyon, and it's called that for a reason. It's even cooler yet.
Yeah, nice.
And it's just really, really pleasant to run in the summertime. Just one of the more scenic trails around.
I'd heard a lot about your group coming here to Salt Lake. Talk a little bit about what you guys do.
We're known as the Happy Utah Mountain Runners, or Hummers. We're about 40 of us, and we're an actual dues-paying running club. Our mission basically is to get out and have a good time on the trails, as well as off the trails. We just have a good time hanging out with each other.
So After the happy Utah mountain runners are done, where do you guys go?
Our place of choice is Slackwater Pizza.
Okay.
It's right by the Ogden River. They have live music on the weekends, an extensive beer selection.
Oh, perfect.
Probably one of the best ones around.
And you're also a race director, is that right?
Yes, I direct a number of races. I'm a volunteer out on Antelope Island State Park. 11 years ago, I started a race out there called the Antelope Island Buffalo Run. There's about 500 to 700 head of buffalo, bison, free range on the island that if you're running the trails out there, you may encounter them. Every year I get a couple runners that will get charged by bison, but nobody's ever been hit.
Adds to the excitement.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
it definitely adds to the unique factor. I saw an opportunity there to introduce some people to the trails out there, to the island. I still get people out there every year that have lived in Salt Lake all their lives, and when they come out for the Buffalo Run, it's the first time they've been to that island. At the time I started it, there were basically 2 trail races in the entire state of Utah. Salt Lake has a huge trail and ultra running community here, and it's just exploded in the last 5 to 10 years.